Good evening, y'all. We're gonna do a somewhat quick tour, and probably won't be that quick tour, of my Hangman's Alley settlement tonight. Um, as a forewarning, there are some small issues of the settlement, things that are more bare than I'd like them to be, things that are missing, but I've shoved so much stuff in this space already that it's broken my game 6 times in the past 2 days, and I am very over it. So, regardless of that, it's still a pretty nice settlement. This tour will be nighttime only. If you'd like to see it during the day, I might do a video, but this place really does look best at night. Um, and the frame rate might not be the best, because, like I said, I shoved way too much shit in too small of a space for this damn game, and it does not like me one bit. So, there's really not much out here. I need to move this turret. He keeps hitting my door, but there's really not much else. I lifted the walls up a little bit just so I could protect my guard tower up there. But if any of you played Fallout 3 and you remember Oasis, I had a lot of that in mind when I was building this, as well as like the Forsworn and Skyrim. Brom wrote a book called The Child Thief that I also kept in mind heavily when I was working on this. If you haven't read it, I suggest it. It's an amazing, amazing book. There are no electric lights in this entire settlement except for my gun shop that has a neon light. Everything else is done via oil lamps and these hanging lanterns and candles. I will hopefully be able to get through all of this. I may not cover everything in super great detail, so if you see something you'd like to see again, just leave me a comment. I will happily make videos on how I made things, or, you know, whatnot if I pass something up too quickly. This is my workshop. Again, not a whole lot sitting around just because it just, every time I'd open up the workshop, the whole game would freeze up and crash, and there gets to a point with that you just can't do it anymore. I'll flip my light on. I have some ammo containers, well, an ammo container, some guns, some workbenches. One of these actually belongs to a mod that lets me make ammunition and whatnot. I actually think it's probably this one because it keeps bugging out on me. So there's that. I have a rainwater barrel over here that actually does collect water, which is really nice, also part of a mod. All of these plants that are sitting around, save for a few, so like these mushrooms, the bloodleaf, the hub flowers, all of these actually count towards my settlers' food production, and they will tend these plants. So I didn't have to find space to actually put farmland, and there's a really good reason for it. All of my settlers, as you can see, are wearing various masks from the pack in Nuka World, except for her, because she keeps managing to escape me. And Raider leathers or Trapper leathers from Far Harbor. Lore-wise, I actually worked out a bit of lore for them, which was that I imagine they are very much like the Forsworn in that they sort of have like an animal hierarchy, sort of like the pack does, but they spend a lot of time outside gathering plants, which is quite a thing for the Wasteland, seeing as there isn't a whole lot of it. I'm not sure how they managed to grow trees, but they clearly did. They do enjoy their chems, which is why there's a pick-me-up station here. And some of them go rather far, hence why occasionally around the settlement you'll see things from Nuka World, including the fever blossom plants. So their whole goal is solely to find plants and find ways of propagating them in their settlement, which can be quite a process, but they've managed it pretty well. This is my junk shop, and one very angry dog that I'm not actually sure why he's angry or floating. The guy who runs the shop likes to stay in the opposite direction for absolutely no reason. Not as decorated as a lot of my junk shops normally are, but it's still a pretty alright little shop. This is another little tiny house. There's literally not much in any of these super small houses. And then if we go up, more flowers. Over here is my clinic with, if any of you have played the game astutely, you'll know exactly what those two strange looking little piles are, but let's just say they're not from any kind of animal, except for one very strangely long pig. Um, I imagine in a place like this, a clinic isn't exactly the cleanest place, so people probably don't always make it out. Like this poor son bitch right here, who clearly did not do too well. So there's actually more booze and chems on these shelves than medicine, but I figure you probably kind of need it. Back over here is my gun shop, which, honestly, best name ever. Is the only place that actually has really much electricity, and I had to. I know it's so out of place, but I had to. I have more guns and stuff sitting around, but Hancock decided to run into these before I could make them static and send things flying across the damn settlement, and I couldn't bring myself to put them back. There's a basket full of hand grenades, because everyone needs that. We have a chair for the person who runs the shop, guns and bullets, booze, a safe just in case. I did have a shotgun propped up back here sitting next to the chair, but again, Hancock. Cardboard box full of landmines, because much like a basket of hand grenades, everyone needs that. Some weapons, nothing too exciting. But I stuck their house back here because I figured they probably want to keep an eye on the place, which they're not doing a great job of at the moment. They're probably down there using chems, but moonshine and more guns and bullets, magazines, some robot bits, because I imagine he probably tinkers a lot and makes new stuff. Not plugged in poster. And then, you know, because I'm witty. So we go back up this way. We have another small little house here. This one actually has more stuff in it than most of the houses here, which is still not much. But it's something. And I'm apparently talking to Hancock now. God damn it. Get out of the way. You're just causing all sorts of problems. Back over this way, which I almost forgot about, is my guard station. My guard doesn't come up here. She used to. She had no problem coming up here. For the first couple of days that I had this place, she'd come up here and she was fine, but for some reason she won't come back up here now. We got a missile launcher on the table just in case. Just in case. So we'll go back this way. And we will go this way. This is actually where most of the plants are. I mean, obviously there's still a whole lot sitting around, but most of these are plants that I imagine they're working on making hybrids of, or just getting more established, like the Blight from Far Harbor, as well as I think these are asters from Far Harbor. Wild carrot flowers, all sorts of stuff, a basket full of experimental plants, which we all know are Nernroot. They're not fooling us, that's what those are. Some of the Islander Almanac magazines. I think these are potatoes. Some sit-and stuff. More fungus. That's the one thing I really wish that we had more of, is mushrooms. We don't. Just another little sleeping area, not anything special at all. Back here, however, from about this point on, is a dead space in Hangman's Alley. Your settlers will not do jobs past this point. They won't tend to plants, they won't tend to guard stations, they'll walk back here occasionally, but they won't do anything. So I actually stuck my house back here. I've got bloodleaf plants actually on my tree. And this area is not super exciting, but I have like a mailbox here so I can stash all my notes and whatnot while I'm away. Ammo, armor, weapons, chems, junk, you name it, I have storage for it back here. And then mine and Hancock's bed, as well as a safe for anything that's expensive, with a radiation sign because, well, Hancock's a ghoul, so. And a table full of plants. I have a bunch of them back here in a box, and a typewriter, because I imagine if they're going out and bringing back all sorts of plants, I'm probably going to have to categorize them and keep track of them, or someone will. Probably me, because fuck knows they won't do it. But now we get to go all the way up to the top. Actually, this way's probably quicker. I built this place and I still get lost. Over here we have either Patton or Brain. The other one's in there. Another rainwater barrel that does actually collect water. With a very, very embarrassingly bare house. I may eventually push my luck a little bit and try and do something with this house, but the game is so pissed at me. Up here we have all of the food stuff, save for one house with some fever blossoms. This house, I think, other than my house, is actually the most decorated. We actually have food and like little utensils and shit, and some beer, some clothes over here, and another set of radstag heads, which actually, this is probably one of my favorite things I figured out, is being able to actually stick candles up on them. I have a serious love for radstags, so being able to, it's just such a cool way to do lighting. Totally not fire safe at all, but fuck it. This vending machine here actually has an NPC animation, but I can't get any of my NPCs to stop being dicks, so you probably won't get to see that. Trash can. This is my food vendor. She will actually sell food and everything, and she tends this grill. I will show you why she doesn't have a stall in just a moment, but I think she's, nope, she's not my way. Table, like, I have a bunch of little baskets sitting around with lots of food in them, table with food and some booze and some Nuka quartz, another sitting area so you can just sit when you get your food and look out. And then back here is actually where she was intended to be, but because of the dead space here, I didn't think about it when I was building it, but she's not actually able to do her job back here. So this is actually her designated post, and, you know, the mystery meat, maybe, just maybe, is coming from that clinic. Who knows? And that might be more mystery bacon on the plate, who knows? But this was supposed to be her station, but she won't come back here and do her goddamn job, so. Another trash can with lots of trash, because people tend to forget that. I see people putting trash cans around, but they don't put trash in them. I do. These had beer bottles in them, but someone knocked them over. And I didn't have it in me to put them all back. That was a lot of beer bottles. He just walked right into them, and they just went flying. And he's proud of himself. In fact, he's gonna go over here and sit, so I can show you something else he did. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. There was another beer bottle sitting on this table right before I started this tour. Just sitting here, and I'm assuming someone knocked it over, and now it's lost to the abyss, and he seems so proud of himself. Anyway, again, more clever use of taxidermy insides, because little shithead. Anyway, shelves full of stuff. This is why this settlement keeps crashing on me too. Machine, cigarette machine, lots of utensils and plates and pans and crap, and chem station and food station where I can cook. Fridge full of food, more baskets, more booze. And actually, that might be it. And it's a sinking feeling I've forgotten something in this settlement somewhere. I'm not sure what it is if I did, though. So, which is actually really good timing because it's just starting to get light out. This is by far my favorite settlement that I've done, and it's the closest to being finished of any settlement I've started. There are a lot of things that I really wish I could fix, things I wish I could add and change, but some of it just won't happen. But overall, I'm really happy with it because it gets across exactly what I wanted to. They scavenge for a lot of stuff, like these little cars, and they go very long distances to find plants, they bring them back, and they try to get them to grow. They also like to pretend there are plants places where there are not plants. But I'm happy with it. If any of you actually sat through this whole video, thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick little walk around of my settlement. If there's something that you would like to see better or know how I made, just pop a comment below and I will be happy to do a quick video to show you how I did it, or to I apologize for the really awkward jump cut that you just saw, because undoubtedly I'm not going to be able to do it smoothly, but the PlayStation decided that I had been recording for way too goddamn long and just cut me right the fuck off in the middle of my sentence. So, much like Hancock, my PS4 fucking hates me and everything I stand for, apparently, and doesn't want me to make a video. So, like I was saying before, that douchetry, if there's something you want to see better, or if you want to know how I made something, just leave me a comment. If you did sit through this horrible video, thank you. I do appreciate it. If you liked it, hit the like button. You know what the fuck to do. Subscribe if you want to see more of this. I'll do tutorials, settlement tours, live streams, you name it, I'll probably do it at one point or another. So yeah, thank you, and hopefully I will see all of you in the next video.